All right, what is up, my peeps? Joshua Smithy with another GSD Mode podcast, leveling up episode, where every single week I deliver tips, tactics, and strategies to help you continue to level up in your own personal success journey so you can get shit done in your overall life. So today I'm here to talk to you about stop negotiating with yourself and how to go out there and do this, what this means. We're going to break this down. This actually came about so every single month, once a month, I bring in my personal coach, who's been my coach for over 7 years, best in the game, Coach Camille. You guys, she's been on the podcast several times. You've probably seen me interview her. If not, you can go out there and look those in. Camille Rose. If you just want to search those in the podcast, but she's been the longest coach that I've ever had. Right, best of the best, dude. So, psychologist by degree, but her niche and specialty is helping entrepreneurs, helping executives in leadership positions, just to keep our minds right, to keep our minds sharp. Well, once a month, I bring her in to do a special session with all my coaching clients, right? Because it's like, dude, if we want to go out there and get your real estate business dialed in, we got to have our mental game strong, man. A lot of times, if we're not taking action on the shit we need to be taking action on, and doing the things that we know what to do, we know how to do it, we know why to do it, and we're still not taking action on, usually it's something between the ears, right? And more often than not, when people's real estate businesses go to shit, usually it's something outside of the real estate business that throws things off. So I find, man, the more that our mental game is on point, because look, it's like we're managing the emotions of our clients, managing the emotions of our agents and our staff, managing our own personal emotions. Then we got this whole life outside of the real estate space that we're trying to go out there and manage. Dude, it can be an insane mental toll on us. So there's a reason why, I've worked with her for 7 years. But most powerful, impactful coach I've ever had. Freaking awesome. Badass. So Camille, I love you. Thank you so much for everything that you do and all the change that you made in my life. So anyway, though, in our last weekly session that she did with me and my coaching clients, she made this statement. She's like, stop negotiating with yourself. Look, we're going to have we have our plan. We know the shit that we need to be doing, but then we have all these thoughts coming in, just little things like, oh, dude, the alarm's going off. You should get out of bed. You should go out there and do what you got to do. But then you start negotiating with yourself. Oh, just sleep in. You deserve it. And then she made a statement, and I can't remember where she gave credit who she learned and heard this, this saying from, but I can't remember. So I'm just going to give her credit. But, so you may have heard, somebody else, talk about this and say this. But then from there, she said, it's like, okay, all of those thoughts that you have are like little terrorists. Like think of a terrorist, it's like United States of America, the rule of we do not negotiate with terrorists. Right. So then in our own mind, though, those little internal thoughts that are taking place in our mind, like those are your little terrorists that are self-sabotaging your goals, your dreams, your visions. Okay, well then, stop negotiating with those. Stop negotiating with terrorists. I actually loved that quote so much. I put it up on my vision board. You guys can't see that. Well, maybe I can show it to you. If you can see, bam, yeah, right, vision board. I'm a big believer in vision boards. So this way, it's right up here. It's always, I can see it all day, every day. So then that way, okay, anything that comes up day by day, whether I'm like, well, should I do this thing or should I not do this thing? I'll look at that board. And then I'm like, okay, does it align with getting me one step closer to what's on that board? Yes or no? And if it's a no, then it's a hell no, right? If it's a yes, then it's a hell yes. But then it forces me to look at each and every day, multiple times all throughout the day, out of sight, out of mind. So with that, and hopefully this makes sense, right? So you stop negotiating with yourself. But then from there, let's start unpacking how to go out there and do this, right? Like how do you know if those thoughts are negotiating against yourself, or if they're thoughts that are maybe, getting you one step closer, right? So I want to walk through, some different steps of how to go out there and have success with this. Okay. Step number one is to make sure that you are clear and concise on your goals, your long-term goals and your overall short-term goals. So your short-term goals are going to be like your 12-month goals, right? So, as at least as the time of me recording this, what is it? December 9th, 2023. Okay. So what are my goals for 2024? And then what are my long-term goals? Yeah. Right. Like if I could, build that perfect business and snap my fingers and have that perfect business built, that dream, like what would that look like? Yeah. Right. Not just thinking about your goals for your business, but goals for every aspect of your life. Look, you cannot impact one area of your life without impacting the other area. What are your overall health goals? What's your goals for, your, I don't know, your family goals? What's, like you got personal shit that I'm sure that you want to do outside of your business. So any area of our life that matters to us most, we need to go out there and get clear, concise on what those goals are. And even if they're vague, right? Like, okay, you may not know, let's just say you're building a team or brokerage. You may not know, oh, well, I need exactly X amount of agents. I need a brokerage this size. Okay. Well, maybe, maybe, okay. What the amount of income that you want to be making and what that business allows you to do. So then it might be like, well, dude, I want to build a team or a brokerage that allows me to net and pay me a salary of $500,000 a year, let's just say, as an example. But then from there, where I'm not involved in day-to-day operations or day-to-day production, so I can have full autonomy of schedule and full autonomy of location. So I can go out there and, travel and do the things with my family, do the things that I want. Okay, well, that's clarity. Now, like, now we got to build the machine to get you to making that a reality. Right. But this is where it starts. Like, step number one is to get clarity on what is that you want, why you want it, why it's important to you. Okay. Step number two here is to make sure then that you have the right proven plan, aka strategy, to get you from where you're at to where you want to go in each area of your overall life. This becomes really important, right? So we can go out there and it's easy to come up with our plans, meaning that the reason why I say proven plan is, okay, typically what we want to go out there and create, unless you're Elon Musk, I'm not, but if you are Elon Musk and you're wanting to revolutionize interstellar space travel because you believe it's what's necessary and needed to go out there and save humanity, and you want to go out there and colonize Mars and, get us or planet hopping and, okay, well, like that, maybe shit that's never been done before, but for me and for most of us, okay, typically what we're trying to build, what we're trying to accomplish, others have done it. So I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I can go out there and identify, okay, like what is the best plan to get me from where I'm at to where I want to go in each aspect of my life that's important to me, that now I have clarity on, that I want to go out there and make a reality, right? So now we've got the plan. So we're clear on what our goals are. Now we've got the plan and strategy to execute on those. Now, if you are struggling with your overall plan, I invite you to schedule a 100% free, 100% zero pressure Zoom call with me personally. It's going to be you and I on that call. Now this is going to be speaking to your business. Like, I don't know how to fix a lot of shit, but I know how to fix your business. I know how to get you down there with your business, right? That's my niche. I stay in my zone, man. I stay in my lane, dude. Right. So speaking to your business, look, if you don't know what the best plan or strategy is to get you from where you're at to where you want to go, again, I invite you to schedule a Zoom call with me personally, zero pressure, all 100% free. So this is going to be a free coaching call. We're going to break down where your business is currently at, what your 12-month goals are, what your long-term goals are, what you're currently doing, what your biggest obstacles are. And I'm going to map out for you what my recommended strategy is. If I'm in your shoes, hey man, here's exactly what I would do to get you from where you're at to where you want to go in the quickest, most effective, most profitable manner, and walk you through that. Now, full disclosure, at the end of that call, I'm going to walk through and, walk you through some coaching options that I may have that might possibly be, able to help you and fast forward this trajectory of this, success that you want to go out there and achieve. And if it's for you, great. If not, that's okay too. Whether you ever do business with me or not, I'm going to make sure that this is an extremely valuable session for you and make sure that you know exactly what to do to get from where you're at to where you want to go. So, and I've got a very strict no pressure policy. I'm not going to beg you, not going to hard sell you. That is not my style. So you got nothing to lose, everything 100% to gain. So if you want to schedule that, go to www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. This is the GSD Mode podcast. This is a Zoom call. So I was like, all right, let's just come up with www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. Okay, enough on that. All right, so we've talked about getting, clarity on your goals. So what you want, why you want it, why it's important to you. Then, okay, coming up with the best plan/strategy to get you from where you're at to where you want to go. Because look, you can be clear on your goals, but if you are executing on the wrong strategy, they're not going to happen. I don't like it, dude. Like, people are like, oh, well, you just work hard. If you just work hard, you'll hit your goals. Bullshit. Like, I'm not saying you ain't going to have to work hard, dude, right? But like, if you are chasing the sun, or if you're chasing the sunset and you are sprinting east, I don't care how hard you're running, you're never going to see it. Yeah, you got to run. But maybe you don't have to even sprint. Maybe you can just jog. Right? But you got to make sure you're going in the right direction. So I don't care how hard you're working, how hard you're grinding, how many hours in a day that you are working. And if you're, a lot of people are going out there and they're grinding all day and every day, and they're like wondering, like, why is this so hard? It's because you're running the wrong direction. You do not have the right strategy. Right. And again, if you can't figure that out, come to me, man. Already walked you that in the Zoom call. I'm not going to replug that. Okay. So then from there, the next step is then to make sure that you have your habit plan in place. So this is your becoming plan. You can see behind me, if I move my big old fat freaking head, it says be more. Also got, be more tattooed across my arm here. Right. And that came from me of just years of listening to Jim Rohn. You want more, you got to become more. Become more. Just kept repeating that. So I'm like, okay, well, in order for me to become more, I got to be more. So then I just plastered it on my body, plastered it on my wall. So then I'm forced to look at it all the time. So I'm always looking at that. Now, how do we become more? So this comes down to, okay, how do I become the person capable of making my goals a reality? So this comes down to your habits, right? You got to make sure that you are adopting the right habits, the right rituals, the right behaviors, and making sure that you are eliminating the wrong habits, the wrong behaviors, the wrong rituals. So looking at, okay, in order for me to execute on this plan, to make my goals a reality, what are the habits I must break? What are the habits I must adopt, right? Like who do I need to metamorphosize into? And you can just start making a list, right, of whatever that is. So for me, over the years, it's been like things like, okay, I knew I had to quit drinking. So I had to be somebody that, wasn't controlled by a substance, had to quit drinking. I've had years where it's like, dude, I started getting sucked into the negativity of social media or shows on Netflix. And, okay, like I need to break that habit. What are those habits that you need to break? Maybe you're easily distracted. And you got to become more focused. Maybe you procrastinate a lot and you got to be somebody that operates with more urgency. Right. So then don't just have a strategy plan to go from where you're at to where your goal, to making your goals a reality. Also think about, okay, what are those roadblocks? What are things that would prohibit me from making that a reality? So this is where we come up with our habit plan and our overall becoming plan. Then from there, the next phase of this is setting up your environment to win, right? So setting up your environment to win. What do I mean by this? Making it as easy as possible to win and as difficult as possible to succeed. So as easy as possible to win and succeed, as difficult as possible to go out there and lose. Well, if I'm easily distracted, okay, well, how can you just remove those distractions? I do not believe on relying on willpower. We're all human beings. We have limited amounts of willpower. Just this week I was coaching set of my brokerage owner clients. We do I have one of my brokerage owner groups that, I coach every single month at a high level. And, I'm in there and one of them, when I said that, dude, I don't believe in willpower. I got limited amounts of willpower. He's like, well, dude, you wake up, at 2 a.m. every single morning. I'm calling BS to that. And I get that, I get that a lot when people like, when I say that I don't have, a lot of willpower, I don't rely on it and don't believe in relying on it. But then like I told him, and I said on that coaching call, I'm like, look, yeah, dude, like I get up at 2 a.m. every single day. Now I go to bed at 8 p.m. every single night. So I'm very strict on this. I get sleep. I'm not saying to not go out there and get sleep. I know the amount of sleep I need. Sleep is important, right? So it's just the schedule I follow. I'm really good in the mornings. I suck in the evenings, so I'm not saying you got to get up at 2 a.m. And I know a lot of people think that's freakish, but it just works really well for me. So with that being said though, as long as I've been doing this, I've never been able to adapt to it. If my alarm is next to me, next to my nightstand, I know I am too weak. I'm going to hit that snooze button or shut that off. I've tested it too many times. I do not have the strength. I do not have the willpower to do that. So I rig my environment to win. I get a loud ass alarm clock. I set it across my room in the master bathroom. So when that goes off, I got to jump my ass out of bed. I got to sprint to the master bathroom and turn that thing off. Otherwise, it's probably going to wake up the rest of the family. They're not going to be happy. Well, guess what? Now I'm up. So then, okay, like, hey, man, I want to get my body fat low. I want to get in good shape, but this ice cream or this specific, type of food is my vice. Okay, well, then why are you buying it? Why are you having it in the pantry? Just don't have it around you and you won't give into that thing. Well, I got this distraction that comes up. So like for me with social media, I don't do social media for my phone. I only do it for my computers. Right. Then I have things like Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator installed. So I don't get sucked into on my phone. It's too easy for me to get notifications, to go through, I only do social media from my computer. So I'm not trying to rely on willpower. I'm not sitting there saying, oh, well, I'm just going to be stronger. Oh, I'm just such a weak freaking pussy, like that with that internal self-talk that we have, that does not serve us. We talk all this, like parents and just society of all this anti-bullying, which, I think is a good thing, right? I don't think bullying is good. However, we are typically our biggest bullies to ourselves. We beat ourselves up. We self-sabotage ourselves all the time. But a lot of times it's because we're trying to rely on willpower. And look, like for me, I just realized, hey man, I'm a human being. I'm a weak human being. I have limited amounts of willpower. Let me not rely on that because it's failed me over and over and over. So I'm just not going to rely on it. I'm going to set up my environment to make it as easy as possible to win, difficult as possible to lose. Yeah, right. And then that way I don't have to rely on willpower. Right? Like I don't have to, like if I want to, go on my health journey, like why would I keep hanging out with these friends that all they want to do is go out there and eat terrible foods and go out there and pig out and they become enablers? Why don't I get some new friends to hang out with that are also on their health journey that want to go out there and hike? And then when I have weak moments, they're like, dude, you don't want to be eating that. That are not enabling me, that are supporting me, right? So setting up your environment to win. And this comes to physical environment. This also comes to people you're spending time with, all of those things, right? Then from there, okay, never negotiating with yourself, circling back to this, right? So these things allow us to then have an idea of, okay, what do we negotiate with? Like what are those negative thoughts when I have clarity on what I want, why it's important to me? I have the right plan and strategy in place, the right habit plan and strategy in place. I've rigged my environment to go out there and win, right? So all these things kind of bring all this full circle. So then now it becomes very easy when those thoughts come in of oh, I got to go up at 2 a.m., hit the snooze. No, right? Again, now we're going to get to that point of never negotiating with those thoughts that enter our head that are self-sabotaging our overall goals from allowing us to go out there and create what we want to create, because they're going to creep in. You cannot control that first thought. You got 60 thoughts entering your head each and every single day. So when people are like, oh, you just got to think more, think better, think more positively. And yeah, I mean, maybe there's a way to kind of, impact that, but the reality is, dude, like most of your thoughts aren't even your own, right? Like, yeah, 60,000 thoughts entering your head every single day on average. You cannot control that first thought, but you can control that second thought. How are you going to respond to that thought, right? And again, those thoughts are not you. If those thoughts were you most of the time, well, then if you're the one doing the talking, who's listening? Most of this is just society. It's just bullshit entering our mind, just trying to keep you small, get you to play small, whatever. Like we choose whether we want to listen to that or not. But when I'm clear on these things, okay, I can then make that quick decision. Okay, is this self-serving or not? And especially when I have the right plan, like, okay, with my health plan, here's the activities. So for me, it's okay. The same meals each and every single day. Here's my workout times. Here's the days of the week that I'm working out. Here's what I'm doing. I have those thoughts in my head every single day of, oh, dude, that just not work out today. Maybe we'll just stack it tomorrow. Oh, dude, don't eat this. Like, let's go out there and eat this thing because like that friggin' thing that you're gonna eat sucks. I have those thoughts all the time. But now I can identify that thought and be like, okay, I'm not going to listen to that thought. I'm not going to negotiate with terrorists, right? I'm not going to listen to that thought because I know it's self-sabotaging, right? I know it's not me, right? Because again, if it's me talking, who's listening? It's me, the one that's doing the listening. But now, because I'm so clear on what I want, why I want it, why it's important to me, and again, I've done all these other things that we talked about. Now I can pick and choose why to listen to that thought or not listen to that thought. Because look, all success is, I'm going back to Jim Rohn here. And just his definition, success is just small, tiny decisions made each and every single day, all throughout the day that compound over time. The difficulty is that these decisions in the moment seem so insignificant, but over time they compound and they build up and they build up and they build up, and they become the only thing of significance that fucking matters at the end of the day over time. So it's all, one of my mentors, he has a saying, like when we're audience or whatever, he'll ask people to pull up their hands. He'll be like, hey man, you ever been bitten by a mosquito? Everybody raise their hands. Then he asks everybody, like, you ever been bitten by an elephant? Nobody raises their hands. He's like, see, it's the little things in life that bite you. Right? It's you allowing yourself to negotiate with the activities and the actions that you must be doing to go out there and make your goal a reality. But we just got to we can't be delusional. Like, you're either committed or you're not committed. And if you're negotiating with yourself, you are not committed to making that reality. And we gotta quit thinking that, oh, tomorrow will be better. Like, tomorrow's always the busiest, best day of the week that just seems to never come for most, right? Like, we gotta not be delusional on this stuff. And really just comes down to removing the element of choice. You think you have a choice, but if you want to make your goals a reality, you do not have a choice. I get asked this all the time, like when it comes to little things like tracking your numbers. Josh, man, you know, I know that you track your numbers and you track them every single day. And how do you get yourself to do that? And I'm like, look, the only difference between you and I is you think you have a choice. I know that I don't. If I want to build a successful real estate business or a successful anything, right? Like, I know I got to go out there and track my data, track my numbers on a daily basis. So I don't give myself a choice. The thing, like here's what I got to do to go out there, make the outcomes I want to make a reality. I then do not have a choice. These are my non-negotiable must-do activities I must commit to doing. Otherwise, I'm not going to be delusional. I know my goals will not become a reality. You just become a delusional thinking that you have a choice. Dude, discipline is the only way to freedom. If you're one, if you're in this real estate business to go out there and make, infinite amounts of income opportunities for you and your family, and you want to have autonomy of schedule, all that stuff, you want to have quote unquote financial freedom and freedom of time. And the only way to get there is through discipline. Yeah, right. So making sure that because discipline is just being a disciple to a plan. What is a disciple? Committed, loyal follower. So, I said earlier that I don't believe in operating willpower. Most people think willpower and discipline are the same thing. They are not. Right? Discipline is just me being a committed, loyal follower to a plan. I just don't rely on willpower to execute on it. I rig my environment, all the things that we already talked about, right? I do not, to be a disciplined freaking mofo machine, I don't need willpower, right? Like I do all these other things I talked about here today. Then willpower can go take a backseat. Yeah, right. Because I already know I got limited amounts of it. I'm not going to rely on it. That's just, it fails me over and over and over, right? So discipline leads to freedom. All right, so this is how to go out there and stop negotiating with yourself. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, if you are struggling in your business, maybe business is down, maybe it's, staying stagnant, maybe it's growing, but it's not going at the pace that you want. You know that, your potential is way up here, but you're operating down here with your real estate business, but you don't know exactly what to do. I'd like to invite you to schedule a 100% free, 100% zero pressure Zoom coaching strategy call with me personally. So it's going to be you and I on this call. It's going to be a 60-minute call, right? 95% of that, we're going to be spinning. We're going to be talking about where your business is at, what your 12-month goals are, what your long-term goals are, what you're currently doing, what your biggest obstacles are. And I'm going to map out what my recommended strategy is to get from where you're at to where you want to go. Not just where you want to go and be in the next 12 months, but where you want to also be long-term. I'll map out the steps, what my recommendation is. If I was you and if I was in your shoes, what I know now, become one of the top realtors, team leaders, and real estate company owners on the planet. Here's exactly with my experience, what I would do, right? So you'll know exactly what to do and you have clarity on that before the end of this call. Then at the end, we're going to spend a few minutes. I'll be talking about my coaching program and seeing if it's a possible fit for you. And if it is, cool. If not, that's okay too. We can still be friends. I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to high pressure you. That is not my style. Like I said, this is zero pressure. If it's for you, cool. Not, that's okay too. We can still be friends. I'm still going to make sure this is massively valuable for you. So if you want to schedule that, which you got nothing to lose, everything to gain. Like if you're struggling, you don't know what to do and you're not booking this call, look, dude, like I can't help you, man. I'm offering free help for you that will help you 100%. But if you're not taking action on this, like I don't know what to tell you, dude. Right? Like, so I highly just encourage you to, jump on this. So www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. GSD Mode podcast, Zoom call. www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. All right, you guys, keep crushing it. Stop negotiating with yourself. Go dominate. Keep leveling up. Truly appreciate all your support and being here. And we will see you next time. Peace.